trying to figure out how to get that stuff.
Yeah, keep going. We good. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Baking soda's only 99 cents.
Yo. There's pressure that comes with the block. You could end up inside of a box when you get your knob buzzed by a op after getting set up by a thought. Opportunity, it doesn't knock. No, that sound right there be the cops. Yep. And all of that stress that we talking still gets punching the clock. You think I want to sweep your floor from 8 to 4? Fuck, I want to take your orders for. When your favorite star got an Audemars that's worth more than mama's car. Type of shit make you want to say fuck the law. When your rent's due and your piss poor, nigga, we don't even own our own corner store. So quarter waters cost a quarter more, huh? Wanna be an entrepreneur? We want sign checks. We want work for ourselves. We want own the nets. You're too much of a threat when you're on your own assets. So the only thing they show us is how to be an outlet. So we won't connect. Let's say hi like hola. Listen to Hova. Whip up a rover. Been watching Power. Tommy and Ghost, bruh. So I need some powder. Fish scale and soda for 99 cents. It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense. Baking soda's only 99 cents. It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense. Yeah. See, the money is a motive. Repeat my history, crack cocaine is like the motif. It's plain and simple, way back then my mother hustled. It's in my blood, so I feel like it's time to grind, just like the times when niggas lied. Hold up, back then was the bad days, motherfuckers push mad weight. I was a crack baby, tell me nothing about my mother in the struggle. See, I love it in this fuckers trying to smoke when she hustle. Selling everything in the house, goddamn. She ain't give a damn about the spouse, goddamn. So my oldest brother had to man up, had to take care of us in the piece with 4 kids. And one on the way with no flip, no food in the fridge, on some poke shit. Got food stamps from the neighbors. Tower, ain't that's no favors. Late night, he would shop bodegas. Over bread, it's a me, some mayo. Kool-Aid had about 4 flavors. And when time went to cash out, Aki lashed out. Told me he'd take food stamps. $15 for that kid. Fuck all that shit. Then the young nigga noticed that it could be the coldest. Take back what they owed us. Whole world on the shoulders. No food in the kitchen but the stove work. $10 in the sack, and he pointed to the back, say, let me get that soda. 99 cents. It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense. Baking soda's only 99 cents. It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense. Yeah. So let me get this shit straight. So I gotta go take out loans to go to school, to get a job, just to pay for the loans I took out in the first place. I'm looking at this arm and hammer like I should have a hammer in my arm right goddamn now. Shit ain't make no sense. Lord, make it make sense. Goddamn. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Hey, it's hard to repent. Then you gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense. Oh, make it make sense. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Only 99. Hard to repent. You gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense. Oh, make it make sense. Yeah. Baking soda's only 99.
Yeah. Go ahead. Come on, West. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Look, I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother way. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Man. This shit is too easy. I'm on gold, but they don't believe me. You know I'm winning with the team. Screaming Vinny, 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 Vinci. Hear them devils screaming out bloody murder. I'm about to close the curtain. I'm on my grind, bitch, I'm working. Sorry, all them lies, it ain't working. Them niggas weak, they be churching. I'm a West nigga, that's for certain. Then cross the line, I'm gonna back up and I'ma hit his ass with his virus. And I come through 300 strong, 144 Leonidas. All my niggas we eat. I'm in this bitch with the Irish. Say, all y'all do the sweet. Tell y'all to do the sweet. The nigga made the wrong move, he ain't make his ass out the league. He ain't one of us hit the league. He ain't one of us here preach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Look, I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother way. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat.
You see this look that's on my face, bitch, I'm for real with it. I hit the streets, put on my cleats, was in the field with it. You soft as cotton, just an actor, Uncle Phil with it. And then my targets on the move, but I can still hit it. Hey, I speak true cause it's necessary. Gullah Jack revolutionary. Cold on them like January. Commander General is a visionary. Soul food, no sweets. Your preacher man, he sweet. Matter of fact, he weak. It's wartime for peace. Think you hard, nigga, you ain't. Fuck with us, nigga, you can't. You smart cars, we pace. We form up in ranks. We body bag this rap shit. All black, no bright shit. Real life, no cap, bitch. Fall on them, that's cap shit.
I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck, and my youngins did a sweep. This a whole nother way. Tell them get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Go ahead.
Getting to
All right, clap it up. Yeah. With the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. And we've been bringing out this truth since 1969. And the truth is that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the Israelites of the Bible.
That's right.
That's the best kept secret that the world has never known, but we're making it known out here on these streets. Live and direct, Isupk. We're on the front lines of bringing the truth to the world. We are the home of the truth. And this is the Tuesday night Brotherhood class. And we're going to get into some brotherhood because the world is upside down right now. Like, there is no brotherhood in the world. The oppressor knows nothing about brotherhood. But in Israel, in the Isupk, we preach, we live, we strive for brotherhood every day. We got a saying that brotherhood is a weapon, and it is our weapon against this oppression that we face every day. Like, we live, eat, sleep, breathe brotherhood, man. And that includes sisters too, because we are your brothers, and you are our sisters. So, you know, there's a lot that goes into brotherhood, and the Most High made it a point that this nation was going to have brotherhood. He put it in his laws, in his commandments. It's all predicated upon brotherhood. And we're gonna start with Zephaniah 2:1. Who am I to break tradition? Because that scripture right there tells brotherhood. Like that's what it's gonna take for us to get back on top.
Right.
But as a person got his foot on our neck.
Right.
Read that for me, I don't.
It's the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yeah, gather together, O nation not desired.
Nah. It said, gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together. It said it twice. Gather yourselves together, man. That's us, Israel. That's
Right.
you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man,
That's
woman
right.
and child. Gather yourselves together. Because that is what it's going to take for us to get back on top. Like I said, this oppressor has his foot on our neck. And everything he has going on in the society is designed to keep us separate. But we have to gather ourselves together. He can only do so much to keep us separate. But we have the final say-so on whether or not we're going to let him separate and divide and conquer us. All we got to do is gather ourselves together. The Most High said it. So that means we can do it. Really.
That's right. Gather yourselves together. Yeah, gather together, O nation not desired.
O nation not desired. Now that's the key term, that's the key point of reference right there to let you know who was talking about in this verse. Because we are the nation that's not desired. These other nations, they're not the last hired in the first fire. They're not the ones getting shot unarmed by the police. You saw the video of the 12-year-old boy and 14-year-old girl who was bucking at the cops for 30 minutes straight with semi-automatic rifles. And the cop behind the tree like, please don't make me do this.
Yeah.
Please don't make me do this.
Mm.
But it gave Tamir Rice like 2 seconds,
Right.
if that.
Right.
Because they're not the nation that's not desired, man. The Chinese and the Asians, they're not the nation that's not desired. They didn't have to march in the streets, but they had a couple incidents of getting some petty violent assaults in the street, and they got a law against Asian discrimination, or Asian violence, or whatever, in Asian hate.
Right.
And you don't hear no oppressor, no other nation coming out saying stop all hate, like how they say all lives matter.
Right.
You don't say stop blue hate,
Right.
like they say blue lives matter.
Right.
We the nation that's not desired, man. Wake up.
That's right.
The faster you wake up to that fact, the faster you can get back to your identity and get back to your nation
That's right.
and get back on top where we're supposed to be. Read that. Salaki.
So, if I could, with Tamir Rice, the cop that shot him, right? Say he got out his car, shot him in a matter of a millisecond, not even a second, I think 0.9 seconds, right?
Right.
He stayed on the police force 3 years after that, still serving and protecting the community. After he murdered young Tamir Rice, who's a young brother,
Right.
so-called black,
Right.
Judah.
Yeah, that goes to show you, man, that like they 30 minutes of getting shot at by them, the 12-year-old and that 14-year-old. 30 minutes with AKs. Tamir Rice had a toy gun, man. And they made a conscious decision not to fire back at those kids. Then when they finally fired back after 30 minutes, they shot to wound. Not to kill, but to wound. Because they see their own as children, as people, as human beings. But they don't see us the same way. They see us as an animal. Not even an animal, less than an animal. Because if it's a dog out there who's hungry, they'll give up their lunch or something, man.
Yeah.
They can come out of a restaurant with a nice doggy bag and some fine cuisine, and they'll give that up to a stray dog on the side of the road, man. I see videos of regular oppressors, sometimes cops, going into icy rivers or icy lakes that's frozen over, and the dog then fell into the ice or whatever, and they go out there and risk their lives to save the dog. It's been floods where the water is rushing, sweeping houses and all kind of stuff away. And it's a dog out there on a rock, and they form a human chain to go save that dog, man. So now they view us as less than an animal, because they'll never do that for you, black man,
Right.
Native Indian, Hispanic man. We need to wake up.
That's right.
Read.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yeah, gather together, O nation not desired.
Now that's brotherhood right there. Read on.
Verse 2. Before the decree bring forth.
Before the decree bring forth, man, the decree, that's an order. Before that order comes forth to do what?
Before the decree bring forth. Before the decree bring forth. Before the day pass as the chaff.
Before the day pass as the chaff, man. Before all this is coming to an end. This society, as you know, is coming to an end. And before that day comes, we need to gather ourselves together.
Right.
So we don't get swept up and blown away, man. We don't want to get caught up in the same judgment that this oppressor who has raped, robbed, and pillaged the earth for centuries or millennia gets caught up in, man.
Right.
We've already served our punishment. Don't get caught up in another one following after this devil, man. Matter of fact, the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks. Salaki. The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks.
That's right.
What's got to be said, man? Like, we can't beat that into our people's head enough, man. That's why we got to keep saying it.
That's
'Cause
right.
The more we say it, the more our own people come up against us. But we're going to keep saying it because we the home of the truth. And ain't nothing truer than that, man. The
That's right.
oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
And he has nothing good for you. And the faster we separate from him, the better off we're going to be.
That's right.
Like I said, the world don't know nothing about brotherhood. But in the Isupk, we do. Because we are separate from this world. We are holy people. We practice the laws in this Bible. We practice what the Most High has told us to do. And with that, we exercise brotherhood. We strive every day to perfect this brotherhood. This brotherhood is not complete because every day each one of us work on being a better brother. And in here, your brotherhood gonna get tried in here, man. You're gonna get put to the test to show that you're a good brother in here, man. Because you're gonna be asked to do a lot of things that you might not feel like doing. But you better do it because we follow orders in here, because we got good leadership from the top, from Commander Johnny Han, who is the ultimate good brother. And he showed us how to be good brothers, man. Like, it ain't no half-stepping. It ain't no falling short when it comes to being a good brother in here. You're going to get checked if you ain't showing brotherhood, straight up and down. Drop that and give me 1 John 4, chapter 4, verse 20. We're going to get into some milk scriptures first about this brotherhood, man, because the milk scriptures are the foundation. Can't never get enough of them. And plus, I'm just almost 50, you know what I mean? I ain't nobody. So, you know, I'm still learning. Read.
This book of 1 John, chapter 4, and verse 20. If a man say, I love the Most High.
Right? If a man say that he love the Most High, because our people love to say that we love God. What's that Christian song? You love God? I love God. Like, they love to say that. They love to say it. Every Christian Sunday clap and talk about how much they love God. Even the ones that don't go to church. And they out there doing all manner of sin publicly. Right. But they'll still tell you how much they love God. Right. Every concert, every award show, you see half-naked women coming out to accept their award. And the first thing they do is they want to thank God and how much they love God. Read.
If a man say, I love the Most High, and hated his brother.
And what?
And hated his brother.
And hated his brother, man. And we see every day how much hatred that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have for one another. Right. All you gotta do is turn on the news, man. Right now, Charlotte is in a 3-year span of the highest homicide rate since the 90s. 2020 saw the highest homicides in Charlotte since 1993. 1993, man. That was like still around the crack era.
Right.
Like that was just coming out of the 80s. That's only 3 years out of the 80s, man.
Nah.
That's still the tail end of the crack epidemic.
Right.
And we know our bodies was dropping in the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah.
And we back to that now. And we just coming out of quarantine, man. And we already doing, and you know, the majority of those homicides is our brothers and sisters, man. Because they don't know about the brotherhood that exists in the ISUPK.
Right.
They don't know that they have a place where they can turn and be embraced with the ultimate brotherhood, man. Where you can step into a place with brothers who have never met before.
Right.
But kick it with each other like we've been friends since 20 years ago, man.
Right.
Like, shout out to the Passover, man.
Yeah, right.
Like, I ain't been on the scene since the Passover, man. So I'm just glad to be back amongst my brothers.
Right.
And everybody, how shout out to that, man. A glorious Passover. I met a bunch of brothers that I met for the first time. And I had the time of my life. And that was my first Passover. And I can't wait till the next one, man.
Yeah, right.
Like, the brotherhood that exists in this school is second to none, man.
That's right.
I've been waiting my whole life to experience this kind of brotherhood. And every brother I talk to got the same story when it comes to that. But read on.
Slide from me. The scripture is so heavy. What you're saying is so heavy, right? Like how I was saying in the scripture, if a man say, I love the Lord, I love the Most High, and hate of his brother, your brother's your neighbor, someone who look just like you, someone who suffer the same, affliction that you suffer. Right. Us as black people, so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans, we hate our brother by joining this society, by celebrating Christmas, by going out to vote, by supporting this society right here. But yet we all, like how you say, like entertainers, go up there, accept their award, say the first person, they want to thank the Lord first. But meanwhile, we are part of this society. And being a part of this society, hate of your brother. You hate your brother, the same society that murdered Tamir Wright, same society that murdered Sandra Bland, and so on and so on and so on and so on. That's why the scripture is so heavy. If a man say, I love the Lord, but hate of his brother, you know what I mean? We can't say we love the Lord and we support this society because this society hates our people.
That's right. That's right. And you got a precept for that what you said about they join the society, but they hate our people. You got a precept for that? By loving this society, and while loving this society, automatically that means you hate your brother.
You asking me?
I'm asking you, sir.
I have a couple Proverbs 11:21, go to Deuteronomy 7. You know what I mean? Not to join other nations.
Right. That ain't the one I'm thinking of, though. That's dead on.
Well, let me know.
The one about can't serve two masters. Because you're gonna love the one and hate the other. So you can't serve this society, because by serving this society, you're gonna hate your own people, man.
Right, that's right.
You're gonna hate your own people. But we ain't gotta get into it. I was just read on.
It's the book of 1 John, chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love the Most High, and hate of his brother, he is a liar.
He is a what?
He is a liar.
He is a liar, man. You're lying if you say that you love the Most High, but you hate your brother. If you can walk past your brother in the street when he's hungry and not give him $1, man.
Right.
Not buy him a burger, man. Like, we all have been hungry before.
Right.
And we know what it feels like. So for you to just be able to do that to your brother without even thinking twice about it, without having no conscience about it, then you don't love God, man. Because that's what we're here for, to look out for each other. We're a nation, man.
That's right.
We are the children of Israel, man. We are the sons and daughters of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We brothers and sisters, man. And that's the way that we're supposed to be towards each other. But instead, we're evil towards each other.
Right.
We got an evil eye towards each other.
Right.
Really.
He is a liar, for he that loveth not his brother whom he have seen, how can he love the Most High whom he have not seen?
How can you love the Most High if you don't love your brother who you see every day, who you walk past every day, who you physically lay your eyes on, but you say you love the Most High who you have never seen?
Right.
Like you gotta put your words into action, man. Like it's easy to say you love somebody who you never seen, but it's harder to go out there and love your brothers who you gotta look at, man. Who you gotta give up something to help. Who you gotta go out of your way when you see them struggling, to go out of your way to give them something, man. Or take part of your day to make their lives a little bit better, man.
Right.
But that's what we do in the ISUPK on the regular, man.
Damn right.
Like it's just second nature. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go out here and we're gonna give up our lives to save our brothers, to wake our brothers and sisters up out here.
Damn right.
Our weekends, our every day of the week when we teach a class, we sacrifice time with our families and things that people in the world will never give up. They hold too important, more important than their brothers and sisters, but not in here. Because the men above us showed us that that's not the way, man. They follow the Most High in Christ. And Christ set the ultimate example of being the ultimate brother. And Commander General Hunter passed that down to us.
Damn right.
That we're going to sacrifice ourselves for our brothers. Because we really love our brothers and sisters in here, man.
That's right.
Read that again, one more time.
It's the book of 1 John, chapter 4, and verse 20. If a man say, I love the Most High, and hate of his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love the Most High, whom he hath not seen?
There you go. Like that's just plain right there. That's the Most High dropping it right there. Like you can't get around that. In order to love the Most High, you gotta love your brother, man. That's where it starts.
Wow.
That's a requirement for loving the Most High, loving your brother. Drop that and give me Matthew 25 and 40. That's what it takes, man. You got that's a requirement. That's a prerequisite for loving the Most High, loving your brother. When the Most High established these laws, statutes, and commandments, he had brotherhood at the top of the list, man, at the forefront. Okay. He had brotherhood at the forefront. Like loving your neighbor as yourself. That's heavy when you think about it. As yourself. That's how you're supposed to love your brother. And these stupid Christians want to make everybody your neighbor. People who ain't never loved you a day in your life. But then they're going to love them as themselves and hate their own brother. We don't do that in here, man.
That's right.
We give all our love to our people. So much so that we ain't got nothing left over for nobody else.
That's right.
Read.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 25, and verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren.
That's verse 40.
Yeah.
Go up to like 31.
Verse 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory.
33.
Verse 33. He shall set the sheep on his right hand.
Right.
But the goats on the left.
Right. The Most High is gonna separate the wicked from the good.
Verse 32.
Right. Come.
And before him shall be gathered all nations.
All nations.
And he shall separate.
He shall separate. The Most High is a separatist, man.
That's right.
And in that day, he gonna separate the sheep from the goats. Read.
And he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats.
Right.
Verse 33. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left.
Right. Read on. The sheep on the right, the goats on the left.
Slide, if I may.
Okay.
Right, and you know, in a black world, what do we say? That's my right hand.
Right.
My right hand man. I know in the world we used to be like left hand for the white man. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. You know, that's my right hand. So what Christ speaking. He said the sheep on my right hand. It's a lot.
The right hand, yeah, the right hand. And growing up, we didn't know nothing about these scriptures.
Right.
And that was just slang right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's my right hand man, or something going on. We say that's on the left hand side. Right. So the sheep on the right hand and the goats on the left hand. Read.
Verse 34. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom, prepared for you from the foundation of the world.
And that's you, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
That's right.
You are the ones that the kingdom was prepared for from the foundations, man. You are the ones that are chosen to be the kingdom to be for.
Damn right.
You are the chosen people of the Most High God, man, of the Most High power. But we want to follow after our oppressor, who was not chosen.
Right.
Giving up your birthright, man, your inheritance. Read.
Verse 35. For I was in hungry, and ye gave me meat.
But this is talking about the ones of our people who really showed brotherhood, man. Because they did what?
For I was in hungry, and ye gave me meat.
Because when Christ was hungry, we gave him meat, man. Read.
I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink.
You gave him drink when he was thirsty, man. You took the time out of your day to think about somebody else besides yourself. That's your neighbor. You took time to treat your neighbor as yourself. Read.
I was a stranger, and ye took me in.
You was somebody who was from some place other than where you were from. And you treated him like he was from the same place as you. You didn't let territorial beef stop you from being a brother, man.
Right.
You didn't say, nah, you from this side of town, so I don't F with you.
Right.
You ain't said, nah, brother, I see you in a situation, but where you from? You ain't said that. Read.
Verse 36. Naked, and ye clothed me.
And you saw the brother in need, and you took time out to help him fix his need, man. He was naked and you clothed him. You took the time out to saw somebody who had less than what you had, and you decided to try to help that brother with some of the things that you were blessed with, that he wasn't blessed with. Read.
I was sick, and ye visited me.
Yeah, you took the time out to visit somebody who was of ill health. And you took the time out of your day to call that brother or to visit that brother.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that kind of stuff means a lot, man.
Right.
Read.
I was in prison, and ye came unto me.
Right. Because the brothers locked up, they feel like they ain't got nobody. Sometimes the outside world cut them off, man. And just a visit from somebody back home or from the outside world can change their whole perspective. Read.
Verse 37. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hungry?
So the righteous are going to ask the Lord, when did we do all those things? Because they know they didn't do it to him personally. But read on.
When saw we thee and hungry, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink?
Read on.
Verse 38. When saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee? Verse 39. Or when saw we thee sick, or in prison, and came unto thee?
When did we do all these things? All these things that you just listed, when did we do these things? Read.
Verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them.
And the king shall answer and say unto them. Read.
Verily I say unto you.
Truly, this is the true thing that he's going to say to them. Read.
Inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren.
Of the who?
Of the least of these my brethren.
Of these, the least of who?
Of these my brethren.
My brethren, man.
Bruh.
This is brotherhood that Christ is talking about, man.
Bruh.
This is brotherhood. You can't get around that, man. The least, you did it to the least of his brethren. This is you doing it for Christ, man. If you go out of your way to feed a brother who's hungry, to give a brother some water who's thirsty, to go out and feed your people. And it ain't just always with food, man. It can be with the knowledge of this truth too.
Right.
But you go out of your way to do that for your brother, man. You're doing it for Christ, man.
Right.
And that's brotherhood, man.
That's right.
Really.
Inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
Really.
Verse 41. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand.
On the left-hand side. There you go. This is on the left-hand side, man. When you're talking about something that's wicked and evil, you say on the left-hand side. But let's see if they practice brotherhood on the left-hand side. Read.
Depart from me, ye cursed.
What does depart mean? Come on.
Leave.
Get away from
Right.
me, man. Get away from me. Depart from me. That's what's going to happen if you don't have brotherhood, man. You got to wake up. Because if you ain't out here loving your brother and doing everything you can to see your brother in a better situation, then Christ going to say, depart from me, man. Depart from me. You don't want to hear those words come out of Christ's mouth, man. None of us do. That's why we in this Isupk, man. That's why we in this school. Because we saw what was in the world and the direction that it's going, and we wanted to come up out of that and get down with this brotherhood and not only change our lives, but change the lives of our people too.
That's right.
Our brothers and our sisters, man.
That's right.
Really.
Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels.
Prepared for who?
Prepared for the devil and his angels.
See what I'm saying, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? You don't want your fate to be caught up in the same fate as this oppressor, man.
But
This oppressor got a fate and a punishment reserved for him. And by you joining him and turning your back on your brothers, you're going to get caught up in his punishment, man. Jump down to verse 40.
verse 40, and the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
Right. Same thing he said before. If you do it to the least, and that least is important too, because a lot of us go out of our way to be real good butt kissers, man. We'll take the elite of our society and try to do for them. Like Tyler Perry, even though he mistaken thinking that Meghan Markle is a sister and not the devil that the Bible speaks of, he looks at her as someone as, of stature and put them up in his place. What do you think he would do that for a poor brother on the street, man? I mean, he got the little project he do with his studio, but that ain't the same thing as his home, man. You got the rich of our society, and our people will go out of their way to kiss their butts, man.
Right.
But when it comes to the ones that's on the doorstep, the least in the society, they won't lift a finger to help those people, man. But those are your brothers and sisters too. And if you do it for the least of your brothers and sisters, man, you're doing it for Christ. Right?
So, like, I think then Tyler Perry, he made like a community for like the LGBT.
Yeah, come on, hit your studio.
Yeah. Insane.
But the LGBT, but would he do it for some ex-gangbangers?
Right. exactly. Right.
Would he do it for some? Would he make a halfway house for some prisoners getting out?
Right.
But he'll do it for the LGBT, man. It's
Right.
disgusting, man. It's disgusting the level that our people have fallen to, man. Because that's not our nature. It's not our nature to be wicked like that. We have just fallen victim of looking up to and joining our oppressor. It's like the old saying goes, you lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas.
Right.
And our people are infested with fleas that come from joining this oppressor, man.
That's right.
We become, I remember looking at the news and seeing a report, and it was certain crimes, I would be like, oh, I know a devil did that. Well, I know that's a devil, because our people would never do something like that. But now you gotta wait for the picture to come on the TV screen.
Yeah, you got.
Or you gotta wait for no picture to come on the TV screen. Because if they don't show no picture, 9 times out of 10, that's the devil who did that.
Yeah.
But if it's one of us, they're gonna show that picture quick.
Right.
Read.
Verse 41. Salah. Verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Verse 41. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed.
There you have it. Depart from me, man. So what's the moral of the story? Have brotherhood, real brotherhood, if you want to get down with Christ, man. If you want to be on the right hand side of Christ. And if you want to be a wicked, terrible brother to your people, then he gonna say, depart from me, man.
Right.
Drop that and give me John chapter 13, start at verse 34. Brotherhood is important, man. This Bible is predicated upon brotherhood when it comes to the children of Israel. The Most High was determined that we were going to love each other and be a family, man. He wasn't going to have it no other way. All of us went on those slave ships, man. All of us got punished.
Right.
All of us were victorious together. He deal with us as a nation. And we need to gather ourselves together and become that nation again.
That's right.
Really.
If I could, like in the book of Matthew, 25th chapter, like if we keep reading, right?
Come on with it.
Come on with it. The Most High Christ, right? So now, verse 41 says, then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. Right. And verse 42 says, for I was an hungry, and ye gave me no meat. Right. Just like how we live today. Like we starving out here in the street, and guess who doesn't feed us? Even though there's enough food to go around for everybody. Right. And Christ said, what? Even you do it unto the least of these, my brethren, you've done it unto me. And people even question him, like, you never did anything for you, but nah, or did anything to you. Like, nah, you did it unto the least of my brethren. So, look at our brothers and sisters out here starving, man. Starving because of why? Because of oppression, because of integration. You know what I'm saying? And Christ is laying it all down. If I was hungry and you gave me no meat, so he wanted to depart from me. When I was hungry, you did nothing for me when I was hungry. You said I was thirsty and you gave me no drink. It cut our damn water off, man. Right. You know what I mean? Look at Flint. Right, exactly.
So still ain't got no water, man.
Right.
Get down.
43, I was a stranger and you took me not in.
Right. All of the things on the right hand side, it's the opposite on the left hand side.
Right. If I could, if me and you, Boz, if we was to go, I don't know any rich neighborhoods in the 704, but I know up in the 336, you got Summerfield.
Valentine down there in South Charlotte.
And we was in some rich community, walking down the street, some oppressor called Karen to come call the cops. We could be driving a UPS truck. What you doing around here? Right. You know what I mean? Right. That's a lot. It's a lot. It's right here in the Bible.
It's right here in the Bible. And we see it today. Right. Every time you turn the TV on. You done?
Unless you want.
I mean, hey man, get that.
Wow, it's a lot.
No sweat, sir. No sweat. Get the brother.
Hey, most high.
The water for that. The water for that. Because it's all about brotherhood.
Most high.
And the lack of brotherhood, man. Like, we've been better as a people at being wicked to our brothers than we have been at being good brothers. And that's why we got to fight so hard in the Isupk. Because we trying to change the narrative, man.
Wow.
We trying to break the norms. We trying to shock our people into realizing that this is not who we supposed to be. This is who your oppressor has tricked you into being, has oppressed you into being, has starved you into being. Poverty or oppression has led us to make some bad decisions as a people.
Wow. And
we in the Isupk and the Commanding General Yohana, we going out here every day fighting and making our heads harder against the people who make their heads hard against us, coming against us, spreading this truth, man.
Yeah, right.
But we do this for the Most High and Christ, man.
Yeah, right.
And we're not going to let some hard-headed among our people stop us from doing what the Lord said to do, man.
That's right.
We practice brotherhood in here, man, amongst each other and amongst our people in the world. Our people in the world, they get the same good treatment from us until it's deemed necessary for us to really have to buck up against them. Like, they got to do stuff for us, for that to happen. Because we give them the ultimate brotherhood and sisterhood too. Because they are our people. Not just in the school. We love all our people, man.
Yeah, right.
All our people. You got that John 13?
It's the book of John, chapter 13, and verse 34. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another.
And oh Lord, this the Christians, stupid Christians, got a battle with the Christians all day, who say that the law is done away with. And when they hear that new commandment, they think the old commandments are done away with. Wow. And this is the new commandment, and this is all you have to do to read. Let's see what this new commandment says.
A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another.
That ye love one another. Read.
As I have loved you.
The Most High always had it for us to love one another, man. But Christ is now saying love one another as he has loved us. Because it ain't too many brothers love us like Christ did.
That's right.
This brother is the ultimate brother. And for us to love each other like he loved us, ain't no stopping us, man.
Right.
Like, nobody would be hungry. Nobody. Because we would all feed each other.
Damn right.
Nobody would be thirsty. Because we would all give each other water, man. That good water, man.
Damn right.
We would all give each other clothes off our backs, man. We would all die for each other.
That's right.
And that's the heavy part right there. Christ died for us, man. That's how much he loved us.
That's right.
And how many of us are willing to do that for our brothers, man? That's a heavy commandment right there. Read on.
A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another, as I have loved you, that ye also love one another.
That we love one another, man. Like, it's all through the Bible. The Most High stresses us to have love for each other, to exhibit love for each other, not just in word, but in deed.
Right.
Love is an action word. How many times you heard that?
That's
You heard that your whole life. It's an action word. You can't just say it, you gotta do it. And he expects us, he gives us examples, he gives us commandments, he requires us to love one another. Not just say it, but do it. Drop that and give me Matthew chapter 5. I say 22, but you can start above that. Because that whole chapter get down.
Yeah.
That's with the lawyer, right?
Salaki.
That's with the lawyer, right? The lawyer. Read verse 1.
Yeah, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 1. And seeing the multitudes, he went up.
It's a lot. Read.
He went up into a mountain. And it's like if I may say one thing, right? With the last scripture pulled so heavy, John 13, we got to be told to love one another. It's like how you was bringing out a little earlier. You know, like in Charlotte, so much violence going on in the Charlotte area, 704 area. Everywhere you go, like we curse in the city. We hate one another. We got to be told to love each other. Right. And because we give all of our love to everybody else, we naturally hate our own people, man. We see ourselves through the eyes of the same people that hate us. We fight to be a part of their society, you know what I mean, which shows no brotherhood whatsoever towards our people.
Right.
So Christ come out and say, man, it's a commandment, man, that you love one another, man. It's like you know, like a elder person in the family. Like, y'all gonna love each other.
Right.
I mean, whether you like it or not, you gonna get along.
Right.
It's a lot.
Hey, that's heavy what you're saying, man. We're stiff-necked people. We gotta be told to love each other, man. But we're gonna get it together, man. Isupk is here to help our people get it together.
That's right.
Great.
Verse Matthew 5 and 1.
32. The verse 1 is Christ going up into the mountain to speak, to get a better platform to speak to the multitude. Read.
Verse 2, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, verse 3, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
The poor in spirit, man. Who are the poor in spirit in this society? Who are the poor in spirit? Come on, let's check in the online chat and see if anybody got any answers, got anything to say. But if not, come on with it. Me and my brother, my idol on here rocking it out tonight.
Now you rocking it out.
Nah, we rocking it out. Nobody?
Nah.
Good, come on with it. Who are the poor in spirit in this society?
Old nation not desired.
Old nation not desired. You black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, Native Indian man. We are the poor in spirit. This place beats us down, man. This oppressor had, what did it say? Shall wear out the saints. We worn out in this place, man. But what did Christ say about us?
But theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
The kingdom of heaven, man. Rulership.
That's right.
It's coming to you, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. But you gotta show better brotherhood.
Right.
Read.
Verse 4. Blessed are they that mourn.
Who mourns in the society? Who's always mourning? When you turn on the TV, who do you see always crying, sad, have been mistreated?
Right.
Who's always talking about not getting a fair shake? Who's always got to go to this oppressor and say, why are you treating us like this? Who? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians,
right.
Man. We're mourning in this society. Come on with it.
And of course, that's a biblical prophecy. Judah mourning.
Jeremiah 14 too, right? I thought about it as soon as I said it. I knew you was gonna come with it, but that's why I said that.
Rock.
I know you was gonna have my back on that. No, you got it. Jeremiah 14:2. Judah mourning, man. We mourn because our leadership fails us. Because our leadership has a bad brotherhood ethic. They have no brotherhood, man. They care nothing about the least in our society. All they want to do is kiss up to their oppressor for trinkets, man.
Right.
And they got I got mine, who cares about the rest of y'all mentality.
Right.
But that's not what's gonna save us, man.
That's right.
We're gonna have to come back to the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. And you can't come back to those commandments without coming back to brotherhood, man, loving your brother.
That's right.
We've already established that those are part of the commandments, to love your brother, man. So you can't join your oppressor and be a part of this nation, man, and gather yourself together with this nation. It's not gonna happen. You gotta join yourself with your brother, and then everybody else fall where they may. Read.
Right. Verse 4, blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted.
They shall be comforted, man, because the Most High is with us. He is the one who's going to stop our mourning. He's the one that's going to wipe our tears, not your oppressor that you cry to. How long are we going to cry and beg this man to help us, man? And he's the cause of our problems.
Wow.
To the deer, go to the wolves and the lions crying, saying, stop eating us. It don't work like that, man.
Wow.
We are the woman, we are the battered woman in this abusive relationship between blacks and the oppressor.
Wow.
And society has told everybody that a woman should leave a battered, abusive relationship. But when it comes to blacks being abused and battered by this oppressor, we keep saying, give them another chance.
Sure.
We keep saying, beg them for mercy. We keep saying, it'll get better as long as we talk it out. When are we going to realize that we are the battered woman in this abusive relationship and we need to get out, man?
Right.
Read.
Verse 5, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
Blessed are the meek. Who are the meek? This is talking about you.
That's
Blacks,
right.
Hispanics, and Native Indians. We are the poor in spirit.
That's right.
We are the meek.
That's right.
What was the second one?
For they shall inherit the earth.
Salahi. The second one, it said the first one was the poor in spirit. The second one was
Blessed are they that
they
mourn.
that mourn. We're the ones mourning, man. But right now we're doing these things. But when our king come back, what's going to happen?
For they shall inherit the earth.
We're going to be the ones that inherit the earth, man.
That's right.
It's going to be a big time case of trading places, man. It's going to be like Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. And Dan Aykroyd, man.
Right.
It's going to be, his key ain't going to work, man. It's a lie. His key ain't going to work when you try to put it in the door, man. They're going to be like, who is you?
Right.
When you try to get in them 12 gates, man.
Mm-hmm.
You like, you don't live here no more, man.
Right.
Now come pick this cotton.
That's right.
Read on.
Verse 6. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness.
After what?
After righteousness.
Sound like the Isupk.
That's right.
Because that's all we do in here, man, is hunger and thirst after righteousness.
That's right.
We left that wicked ass Christian Salaki. We left that wicked Christian church because we know it wasn't no righteousness in there, man.
That's right.
And we sought real righteousness. So we got it all black. We laced up our boots. We put on our headbands. We did what we were told. We followed all these orders. And we study these scriptures. We get in class. We listen to the men above us who have done it longer than us, who are better than us, so we can become just like them.
Right.
Because we thirst and hunger after righteousness, man.
Right.
We try to live these scriptures to the best of our ability. And we do so with the help of the men above us, right over our shoulders, correcting us at every turn when we mess up, when we fall short, when we get weak. Because we don't tolerate that in here, man.
That's right.
We taught to fight in here. We taught to stand strong for the Lord, man. We taught no excuses.
That's right.
No cowardice.
That's right.
Because we hunger and thirst after righteousness. We got some heavy examples to follow in this school, man, to be like the men above us. And it's going to take a lot of hard work to get there. But I see brothers beside me under me, over me, all striving every day with the same zeal and determination to get there, man.
Damn right.
And the whole time it's all about brotherhood at every turn. They never forget to be a brother because that's a part of it. You ain't gonna be like the men above you in here without brotherhood because the men above us are the ultimate brothers, man.
Mm-hmm.
Read.
Verse 6. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness.
Sound like the brothers and sisters in the ghettos, man.
Right.
In the barrios, on the reservations, man.
Right.
We the poor, man. We hungry. We the ones hungry. We the ones at the bottom, man. We the ones in poverty, man. But really,
For they shall be fed.
but we gonna be fed, man. We gonna be filled. Really. Come on with it.
Salam about me too, right?
Come on.
Say one thing, right? Like of course, we grew up where we grew up at, and you come across all kinds of different people that eventually say, like, I gotta do right, man. I gotta do right by my parents. I gotta do right by my woman. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You don't really hear that from other nations. You know what I mean? They don't seek righteousness.
Right.
But even in our state, we still seek righteousness. You know what I mean? It's a lot.
Exactly.
We are
You're
compassionate people. It's a lot.
You're right. That's a heavy point you make, man. Like, they're not built the same way we built.
Right.
Man. We cut from a different cloth.
That's right.
We got royal blood flowing through our veins, man.
Right.
Like it's in our nature to do the right thing, to have compassion for your brothers. And that includes our parents, because we one nation. We all family. So we all brothers and sisters. But in that brothers and sisters category, or in that brothers and sisters cloud, we got different categories.
Right.
We fathers, we mothers, we sons, we daughters, we husbands, we wives. And we gotta be brothers, good brothers and sisters to each other in every capacity that we fall into in this society.
That's right.
Husbands, you gotta love your wife, man,
Right.
because that's your sister. Wives, you gotta love your husband, because that's your brother.
Right.
Fathers, you gotta be good parents to your sons and daughters, because those are still your brothers and sisters. And children, you gotta be good to your father and mother, because those are still your brothers and sisters.
Right.
Can't get around it, man. Brotherhood is the blueprint for how we're gonna make it in this society. Read.
Verse 7. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy.
Blessed are who?
Blessed are the merciful.
Are the merciful. Man, listen. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are some of the most merciful people on the, are the most merciful people on the planet.
That's right.
I mean, how much more merciful can you get than those people who got their loved ones killed by that devil Dylan Roof, and they're on TV the next day already talking about they forgive the man who ain't even asking for forgiveness, man. He's still chewing on his Burger King, man. And they already forgiven him, man.
Right.
Like, but our mercy is misguided, man,
Right.
as a people. Not in here, because in here we got righteous mercy.
That's right.
Our mercy is guided in the right direction towards our people.
Right.
We don't have no compassion for these other nations, man.
That's right.
All of our compassion is used up on our people. Our people who are out here struggling, who are in worse situations than we are, our people who come against us, who sin against us, who buck up against us, we merciful towards these people, man.
Right.
I mean, the compassion, the level of mercy that I've seen in this school is unmatched. Because there are times when I was in the world, I wouldn't have put up with some of the things I've seen that we had to put up with in here. Because, again, I'm trying to be like the men above me. But when you see them in action, it lets you know just how much farther you got to go. We got some merciful men above us, and it starts from our leader, Commander General Hunt.
Right.
It's like,
if I may too, right? And we get shown mercy, right? We get shown mercy from the Most High, first and foremost, right? But the society shows us no mercy whatsoever. We go to court for a charge, the judge bams us. You know what I mean? We even seen whole cities in history. The history class was last night. In history, Rosewood, Florida was wiped out. No mercy. Rosewood, Florida was wiped off the map. Man. I mean, Tulsa, Oklahoma, damn near wiped off the map, wiped out of history because of no mercy. Because the oppressor could never show brotherhood. You know what I mean?
Right. Never.
Right. You know what I mean? Of course, we because we in a society, we mimic them, and imitate them. And we need to imitate it. Like what Christians say, what would Jesus do? Right. Show brotherhood. Exactly. Show mercy to one another. So a mere look wouldn't let her get a brother to, you know what I mean, the green light to pull a gun out and blow another brother's head. You know what I mean?
So we would never turn our gun on another black man. What you're saying is so heavy, man. Like, that would solve all our problems. Right. There wouldn't be no black on black crime. Right. I mean, we might have disputes. No, you know, that's always gonna be. We always gonna have disputes, but we work it out as brothers. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't try to end our brother, man, with no compassion, man. Like you want to be, like you not only have a lack of compassion for the brother who life you taken, but you have a lack of compassion for his loved ones as well. Like that brother who you're taking out is loved by somebody, man. Wow. So you gotta have compassion for more than just yourself and your immediate loved ones, man.
That's right.
Even the public can do that. Read.
Verse 7, blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Verse 8, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see the Most High.
The pure in heart, man. Again, man, I hear these scriptures and I hear all of the criteria, and all of these sound like not only blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, but Isupk, man. Like I've seen some of the most hardcore brothers in this school, but I've also seen that these same hardcore brothers, dealers, stealers, and killers, have the purest hearts that I've ever seen in my life, man. I mean, just straight up good brothers at the end of the day, who just accepted the gift that Christ gave them, man, and came in here and turned their lives around because they seek after righteousness, man. Read.
Verse 9, blessed are the peacemakers.
The what?
The peacemakers.
The peacemakers, man. The ones who ain't quick to pull out their gun and blast their brother, man. The ones who will step in front of a cop who's about to blast the brother who just got a knife, man. Shout out to Offside Rock, man. In Durham. Stepped in front of those cops when they had their guns drawn on a brother who was having a mental episode and had a knife, and he stepped in front of them to make sure that they didn't make that brother another statistic, man. The Rockefeller had a white house shot. That's the kind of thing that we do in the Isupk that never make the news.
Right.
But we do it because we love our brothers, man. Straight up brotherhood. And there are countless examples, man.
That's right.
Of brothers in here that do that kind of stuff.
That's right.
But you'll never hear, you know, if you're not in the circle. But we don't do it for that. We do it for the glory of the Most High.
That's right.
Read. Come.
Salami, if I make salami. Keep cutting in on the right salami. So like how Kevin Carr coined how the brothers always say brotherhood is a weapon.
Brotherhood
right?
is a weapon.
And brother, us joining together, us showing each other brotherly love is a threat to this society. It's a threat to this world. Us loving one another as brothers, where it's no more east side versus south side, or you know what I mean, block against block or gang against gang. If the world see that, brothers together, it's a threat to them. Because the rise of us is them falling all the way down. Right. So that's why brotherhood is so important. You know what I mean? It's a lot.
Man, yeah, you have
Yeah,
that.
that's a lot more.
That was heavy.
Right.
They can't have that. They definitely can't have that.
Right.
Like that is mission number one, to make sure that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, Native Indians never show brotherhood to each other,
Right.
never come together.
Right.
It's like Egypt. What did they say? Come on.
It's a lot. It's like the first scripture: gather yourselves together. That's an order.
Gather yourselves
Get
together.
Yeah.
But also like in Egypt when the Pharaoh was like, there's so many of them, you know, they joined together and then join one of our enemies, it'll be the end of us.
Right.
Yeah, we don't have to join with none of their enemies.
That's right.
All we gotta do is come together with each other.
That's
it's
right.
the end of them.
Damn right.
Man, Tulsa, Oklahoma was destroyed in 1921. That in itself is just what? 55 years? 55 years after the end of slavery?
Yeah.
Like 56 years at the end of slavery?
Yeah.
And it ended in that year. So in less than 50 years, you went from slavery to being dominant by being to yourself, being together. Just think what we could be now with what we have, what we know now.
Right.
The amount of so-called education that we have now.
Right.
But it's pseudo-education though, because they were able to do it with just the knowledge of coming together and being together and not being integrated. Like all of the education in college that we learn, we stupid because we still can't see that integration is a bad thing. Like you can have all the PhDs and master's degrees that you want to have, but if you don't realize that integration is the downfall of our people, then you're just a smart dummy, man. I got a PhD, a public high school diploma. and with that, I know that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, and that we need to separate from these wicked bastards, man. Come on with it.
It's a lot. We was talking about the other night, right? How, before integration, there was no heroin epidemic.
Right.
There was no crack epidemic.
Right.
There was no, Chicago, in Charlotte, black on black violence, Greensboro, wherever you go, Miami, Florida, New York, Chicago, Salaki, repeating the same city. It wasn't that before integration.
Right.
Because we had love for each other.
We have to have love for each other in a system of segregation. Because segregation forces you to recognize who your enemy is. Integration fools you into thinking that we all one.
Right.
That all oppressors ain't bad.
Right.
That the grass is green on the other side. Nah, man. In segregation, it's us versus them.
That's right.
And that's the mentality that you have. Now we on this team, they on that team. And you see yourself as a team. And we ain't been on a team in a long time as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man.
That's right.
And that's what it's gonna take for us to get back to dominance, man.
Damn right.
In less than 50 years after slavery, you can't have a people with less resources than people coming out of slavery.
Right.
You can't have less resources than that.
Right.
What they say now, we make what, $1.2 trillion as a nation? Just Judites? So that's what we spend. I don't know if that's what we make, but that's what we spend in the economy, $1.2 trillion. That what we got to work with? How much more of it is that than what the slaves had after coming out of slavery to get to Tulsa, Oklahoma? Like I said, it got destroyed 50 years after slavery. How long? When did it get built? For 35 years? 40 years? Come on.
It's a lot of I'm not sure about Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? But it's a bunch of established black towns, right? One, right, dog, right? It was a town, Mounds Bayou, that was established by black people, like a decade and a half after slavery ended. Check that out.
Man, listen, man. We're great, man.
Right.
We're the greatest people on the planet, man. And that's evident in everything that we do. No matter our circumstances, no matter where we come from, it could be, we watch movies and stories about it all the time. For a brother or sister coming out of the hardest situations,
Right.
and they make it all the way to the top of whatever they're trying to do.
Right.
Because that's what we do as a people.
That's right. Man. That's right.
The whole time, that's great.
That's right.
We the ones trying to sacrifice our greatness to join in with some people who are not great.
Right.
We need to wake up, man. But the Isupk is here to help everybody wake up, man.
Yeah, right.
That's what they been, man.
Right.
That's what we here for. We got a job to do. And we got just the brother here who's the right man for the job.
Right.
And that's what we're gonna do. Where we at?
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, in verse 9. Blessed are the peacemakers,
Right.
for they shall be called the children of the Most High.
That's right, man. We're the children of the Most High, man. A peaceful people. We just need to figure out how to be peaceful to each other. Right?
Verse 10, if I may say one thing, in order to be a peacemaker, you must be willing to go to war.
Yeah, right.
That's what making peace is all about.
Right. That's right. You gotta be willing to go to war. That's heavy. I ain't trying to cut you off. Come on. You gotta be ready to go to war, man. But they say there's no peace without war. Like, we right now, we'll never go to war, man. Our mentality as a people is jacked up when you're ready to forgive the man who killed your family member less than 24 hours after the body has been, after he killed your family member, you ready to forgive him. You ain't trying to go to no war. Hey. Salaki, come on with it.
Say one more thing,
Salaki.
And the biggest war that we got is within ourselves. You know what I mean? To love another brother, to love another sister, actually be genuine about the love that we should have for one another. That's why Christ made it, the Most High made it a commandment that you're gonna love each other. You don't got no choice, man. You're gonna have to suffer each other. Like the general say, you're gonna have to suffer one another. One way or another. Someone get off about exposing personal, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go.
But if you got that, so if you want to bring something out, bring it out, man.
It's important, brother. The topic you bring out so heavy tonight, right? The topic of brotherhood is so needed, it's so necessary for our people, our nation of people. Because we give our brotherhood and sisterhood to everybody. Instead of our brothers, instead of our sisters. You know what I mean? So
Come. You gotta say that, man. That's heavy, because you don't know how many fights I get into, or used to get into, rather. I don't do that no more. But used to get into with family members, friends, colleagues, associates, or whatever, what have you, about only loving our people. And you'd be amazed, but not in here because we all seen it, but it's ridiculous how our people try to justify giving their love to everybody else, man. Like, it's ridiculous. They hear all of the, I'm like, yeah, I see what you saying when you say this out loud, man. And they do, but they so indoctrinated that they gotta stick with the lie, man. They rather stick with the lie than believe the truth. Because it's more convenient, it's more comfortable. Whether that be because they got some good job, or whether that be for their number one reason. And it's that damn goddamn Christian church, man. The Christian church is the problem. That is the biggest problem of our people, man. Because it directly goes against what the Bible says, man.
Right.
It directly goes against the law, statutes, and commandments, and the way that the Most High set us up to be a separate people.
That's right.
I mean, the word on the book is the Holy Bible, man. holy means separate, man. But you can't get a Christian to see that for nothing.
Right.
Real. It's a lot. Come on.
It's a lot.
Come on, man.
It's a lot of bias. You know what I mean? And, in case people out there don't know, in case people out there don't know, we suffer right now the effects of white supremacy.
Right.
The beating, the raping, the murder, the stealing the identity of our people. You know what I mean? We suffer those effects of white supremacy, and Christianity is white supremacy. Christianity teaches us that God loves everybody. So the same man that's been raping our mother and our wives and our daughters and our nieces looks like Jesus Christ. When we open up the Bible, we see that Jesus Christ is a black man. He's a brother. And Christ gave out the order, love your own. Right. Love everybody, love your own. That's in the Bible. And that's brotherhood. You know what I mean? But white supremacy got us thinking that we gotta love the same people that hurt us every single day. So
I had a family member who always, she agreed with every time she see our people forgiving some devil that kills us, it's gonna go down. She even agreed with the brother, Bottom Jean brother, for hugging the sister, not the sister, but his brother's murderer. I'm like, she can see why he does that. Oh, and that's just the mentality that our people gotta break away from, man. It's a plague to our people. Come on.
if I could pull a precept out of the Old Testament, it's Hosea 4:6. People are familiar with that, right? It's the book of Hosea, chapter 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
That's right. That's right. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Whose people?
My people.
That's a possessive word right there. My people. The Most High has a people, man. And despite what Christians would have you believe, that my is not everybody.
Right.
That's a specific people. That's Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. Because everybody ain't destroyed.
That's right.
Really.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
What?
For lack of knowledge.
What?
For lack of knowledge.
Nah, from knowing everything.
For lack of knowledge.
From having a college degree.
For lack of knowledge.
From being in the government.
For lack of knowledge.
For lack of knowledge, man. That means we walking around here ignorant.
Right.
Come on.
It's a lot. It's a lot. If I could, right? My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, like the situation you just brought up, the scenario you just brought up with Bottom Jean, with the brother for forgiving the murderer of his own brother. But we grew up in a neighborhood, you couldn't fight one brother without fighting the other, man. But your oppressor could put a bullet in your brother, and it's so good.
In the courtroom.
In the courtroom.
During the trial. So right after the trial.
That's how destroyed we are.
Not years later,
right.
You go visit them in prison and say that, but immediately, while you still mourning, that's a sickness, man. Now you can't get no more lack of knowledge than that.
Right.
Read on.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
Because they have what?
Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
Because we don't know no better.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
Because we just have, we don't have the ability to get the knowledge.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
We reject knowledge, man.
Right.
We reject knowledge. We stand out on the street corners to come up against these brothers on these podiums every day at camp, just to wail against them while they try to tell our people the truth, man.
Right.
We reject knowledge. Man.
Right.
Brothers standing on the corner reading out the Bible, and we go out there in droves just so we can heckle them.
Right.
We come in the chat rooms of our classes and throw shade at us breaking down scriptures. And you can't come against the scriptures, so you want to throw ad hominems. You want to throw insults.
Right.
Instead of just listening and learning, man. We reject knowledge.
That's right.
I like to say when somebody asks a question or debate topics that have an answer, and they got their phone right there, and all you gotta do is Google the answer. I'm like, I'm from the school with it, man. And I followed up by saying, in 2021, I've been saying this since about 2010, but in 2021, ignorance is a choice, man.
Super.
We got so much knowledge at our fingertips, man. So much knowledge available to us at a ton of different avenues, and we choose to be ignorant. Man. We reject knowledge.
That's right. That's right. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
That's it. That's it. Because we reject knowledge, the Most High don't reject us. It's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of the enemy. And we don't see slavery. Remember that it was like the Most High reject us. We see it every day. The level of power that we go through, the fact that we being oppressed and under the foot of every nation, that we gotta go to our oppressors for every want and need. We know what it feels like. But we have the blueprint in the Isupk that's given to us in the scriptures to how to get back into the good graces of the Most High, man.
Right.
Because we don't reject knowledge in here, man.
That's right.
We strive after knowledge in here, man.
That's right.
We seek knowledge in here.
That's right.
We love the truth in here, man.
Damn right.
Those who love the truth are in the Isupk.
Damn right.
Straight up and down. We reject the lies, we snuff them out, and we can recognize the truth when we hear it, man. Because it's in here, man. We're the home of the truth. We chose this school because we know that this school is the home of the truth.
Wow.
That's it on that. You got me.
God.
You know what you hold?
This is Book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 10. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness.
Again, Isupk, man. Like I said, we don't know all, we don't know we gotta go through on those streets and be out there trying to bring the truth to our people, man. We persecuted at every turn.
Right.
But what? What was we gonna get?
Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
So don't even sweat it, brethren.
That's right.
Don't even sweat it.
That's right.
Because ours is the kingdom of heaven.
That's right.
Blacks, Hispanics, and the Native Indians, man, wake up and seek righteousness and be persecuted for righteousness' sake. And ours is the kingdom of heaven, man.
Damn right.
So all gonna be worth it, man. This is nothing compared to what we get free.
Symbiosis of the sound. Story.
Tonight.
So like 1 second.
A lot of us are trying to get this technical difficulties. Can y'all hear me clearly? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly. Or put a 2 in the chat if the sound is off. Distorted.
I don't know why I sound like. You hear that? Hold on. Sound like one of them throat joints. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Hold up. Wait a second. Hold up. I don't know why I sound like. Test. Test. All right, it sounds a little better. I think it's a charger, I think. All right, select.
Yeah, why do I look like I got on purpose, man?
Man, you ain't got no purple on,
I
man.
know I ain't got no purpose on, man, but I look like I got on purpose.
Man, it's black, man. Come on, man.
Yo, that is crazy.
You too wild.
We ready now? We ready?
God.
It's a lot for that. Hopefully the sound is better now.
Big up Shabbat.
Yeah, big up Shabayala for getting us right on the sound. My brother, Officer 500 Shabayala in the building. It's my brother right there, man.
I'm sorry, crap.
Hardcore warrior that the Most High chose to put me under, man. Appreciate that brother for all that he do, man. All that he do. Remember where we at?
In the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 10. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Right. So if you out here persecuted for righteousness' sake, man, you got a reward coming. And that's the kingdom of heaven. And if you're not persecuted for righteousness' sake, then maybe you're in the wrong place.
Right.
Maybe you need to get up out of that Christian church, man. Because when I was a Christian, and I remember when I got saved or when I joined the church, all my family members were so happy, man. So happy. Everybody was happy. The smile was from ear to ear. The accolades was flowing abundantly. But when I came into the truth and said I was going to be an Israelite in the Isupk, no more smiles, man. No more accolades. There was a whole lot of frowns and trying to talk me out of things. So if you're not being persecuted, then you're in the wrong place, man. Read.
For this is the kingdom of heaven.
Right. Read
Verse 11. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you.
Right.
And shall say all manner of evil against you falsely.
Right.
For my sake.
And that's what happens in the ISU to the brothers in the Isupk.
That's right.
We go through a lot of that. But that's okay. Because it's falsely. What's the last word to say? Against us what?
Against you falsely.
Falsely. Because you can't say nothing against us truthfully. Because we are sincerely seeking righteousness in here.
That's right.
We live these scriptures.
That's right.
You see us do this in this Bible.
That's right.
So if you got an accusation against us saying that we're doing something evil, it is definitely false. Read on.
For my sake.
For the sake of the Most High. And that goes to the precept of from my Ottawa officer Abraham. He always drills this precept. John 16:2. Pull it. If you don't mind, sir, about yourself. Matter of fact, read that scripture one more time after you pull it. Hold it, please. Because there's gonna come a time. This oppressor, man, he got a false sense of righteousness, man. Like we said earlier, his righteousness is on the left-hand side.
Right.
He don't know righteousness. All he know is wickedness.
Right.
And like last night, a General Hyman and the generals were bringing out on Commander General Howard, General Hyman, and other generals were bringing out on the Black Watch last night. They win all the time, man. They win all the time. But even in all of their winning, they'll stop celebrating the win just to hate on us when they lose one time or when we win something one time. Like they'll stop their celebration from all of their wins just to hate on us for our small success. Read on. Okay, what you got?
What? It's John 16?
Nah, I want the other one first. First verse. What you had?
Matthew 5 and verse 11. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake.
Now, they're doing all of this evil against us. They're reviling us and persecuting us. But they're doing it for Christ's sake. They think they're doing it for Christ's sake. Now read John 16:2.
It's the book of John, chapter 16 and verse 2. They shall put you out of the synagogue.
Right?
Yeah, the time cometh.
The time is coming, brothers and sisters. Read.
That whosoever killeth you.
That whosoever killeth us, or revile us, or persecute us, read.
Will think that he doeth the Most High service.
He thinking he's doing the Most High service, man. He thinking he's doing it for the Most High's sake, man. Read that again. The first one.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 11. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake.
Read. Come on with it.
Salah.
Come on with it.
If I may. And this is proof that the truth of the Bible offends the whole planet Earth, the whole society of this earth, because what did Christ say out of his own mouth? You are blessed if they revile you. You know what I mean? If they hate you, you blessed because you got the truth.
Okay. That's how I know. That's how I know I'm in the right place.
Damn
that's
right.
a sure sign that we're in the right place. Come on with it.
Like they see our garments, you know what I'm saying? And I think my garment is glorious.
Absolutely.
I mean, that piece is glorious.
You shining.
And then the world sees it like, oh, those ain't the Air Jordans. Those are the AVs. I had the AV. I know the AV. Yeah, I know you know that. You know what I mean? We ain't got those on. We got wool garments.
Right.
We got garments on that talking about swinging swords on the battlefield.
Come on. You're absolutely right. What you're saying is so heavy. Like Christ, out of Christ's own mouth, he give us what to look for. Read on.
Damn right. Verse 12. Rejoice and be exceeding glad.
Be what glad? Be how glad?
Rejoice and be exceeding glad.
Exceedingly glad. Exceedingly glad means above and beyond.
Damn right.
Like tremendously glad. Read.
For great is your reward in heaven.
For great is our reward, man. So we look at all these things, everything that the world and the oppressors and even the wicked of our people come up against us with, and we rejoice.
Damn right.
We rejoice at your hatred and your disgust for the truth and the work that we do in this Isupk and the Commanding General of the Army.
Right.
We rejoice because we're going to be exceedingly glad at our reward in heaven, man.
Damn right.
This is out of Christ's own mouth. Do you think we give a damn about what comes out of yours? We're exceedingly glad, man. When we see these things, we rejoice because we know we're doing something right. Read.
For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
Because the prophets that we read about, the prophets of old that we strive to be like, those same prophets are back on this earth now, man.
Right.
You're looking at them and the brothers in the Isupk. Those same prophets were persecuted, man. We read about them. We get inspired by them.
Right.
We look at their lives and we try to pattern our lives after them, man.
That's right.
And they got persecuted. So we consider it an honor in the UPK.
Right.
We consider it extremely one West for us to have to go through what they went through.
Damn right.
Read. Come on with it.
If I could,
Yes,
too,
sir.
Salaki, right? Just how Christ put it, right? For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
Right.
Meaning the prophets of the Bible were hated by society.
Hated.
Were hated by the world.
Yes.
Just like here today, we are hated for teaching the truth,
Right.
for telling the truth that the oppressors are the devil, telling the truth that so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, all God's chosen people, all the greatest people upon the entire face of the planet Earth. And we are damn near persecuted, or hated. The prophets were persecuted for telling the truth. And we take on, we do the exact same thing the prophets in the Bible do, man. Tell the truth. You know what I mean?
Oh, God.
You know what I mean?
Come on with it. You got some more?
Damn right. It's a lot. So it's a lot, yeah. It takes a hardcore brother to be a man of God. You know what I mean?
That's
to
right.
be a prophet of God.
No power.
Because you gonna face what you call adversity from the world. You know, our people conform to the world, our black leaders conform to the world like TD Jakes, or not him too, but Creflo Dollar. All the politicians conform to the world, conform to this society, right? When the prophets of the Bible never conform to the society, never conform to the world. Christ never conformed to the world. Christ said, conform not to the world. The world hated you, nor did it hated me before it hated you. So if you teach the Bible, if you teach the truth, then you're supposed to be hated by the world. You're supposed to be hated by society. That's why in this chapter right here, Matthew 5, Christ said what he said. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He say all these heavy things. The world's supposed to hate you. The world's supposed to not like what you got to say because it's the truth. And what is the truth? The truth is that so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the greatest people upon the entire face of the planet Earth. And once we all wake up to that truth of who we are, we will rise and they will fall.
That's right.
That's why the world hates the truth. The world hates that truth because they know what they down for. But the truth is our uprising. And what's Salafi, if I could also say this, right? It's so deep in this that our people, we don't see it. We don't see the uprising of our people. It's like we can't even see us coming together. We can't even see us taking control of the planet Earth. We can't see none of that. All we can see is not being beat up by the oppressor. Meanwhile, we steady getting our ass whipped by the oppressor every single day. And it's time we learn how to fight, combat the oppressor instead of trying to join this oppressor, because us joining them or him or them is our steady downfall.
Don't drop it, but let me get Jeremiah 28 and 8. I got a precept for what you just brought out. What you brought out is heavy, man, because the prophets of old that were before us, you couldn't be no coward, man. Like, I see why in Isupk our motto is no cowards, man. You can't be a coward and be a priest and prophet of the Most High, man. Because it's a job that's not for the weak, man. It's not for the weak. If you weak, this is not the place for you. I'm telling you right now. Because the Most High is not going to tolerate it. Because he ain't sending you out to do nothing that a weak man could do. Read it when you get it, brother.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries.
Against who?
Against many countries.
Many countries, man. Prophesying against many countries. You think they're going to like being prophesied against? You think America loves to hear when we go out on those streets and say it's going to be destroyed? You think they love to hear that when Christ come back with 200 million angels, he going to blast this nation into smithereens? You think they like to hear that they're gonna be led in chains the way they led us in chains? You think they like to hear that? You think they're gonna be happy with the men that say these things to them? You think the men that say these things to them care about how they feel about what we say? Because we're no cowards, man.
That's right.
We do what we do for the Lord, man. Read.
The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against many kingdoms of war, and against great kingdoms.
Great kingdoms. Not just some small little nation that nobody cares about, man. Great kingdoms. The ones with all the power, man. You can't be a great kingdom without having power. Read.
And against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Right. These are the things that we prophesied against this nation, man. Of war and evil and pestilence, man. Like I've heard Captain Kachizad bring this point out. Christians is praying for peace. And Isupk, we praying for destruction. Which one? Whose side is the Lord on, man? Because if you look at what's going on in this world, man, does it look like peace or does it look like destruction? It's coming to this nation, man.
Right.
So whose side is the Most High on, man? Whose prayers are being answered by the Most High, man? The Lord is with the Isupk, man.
That's right.
Read on. That's it for that. You can drop that and get back to the scripture in that. Matter of fact, drop that. We get low on time. Give me Luke chapter 10. Let's start at verse 25. Because we're gonna get back into this brotherhood. Because you've been driving the point home about the importance of brotherhood and how it's essential for our nation. And it's essential and absolutely necessary for serving the Most High and keeping His laws and statutes and commandments and how we are to thrive as a people. Like these fake conscious community and every peanut gallery member love to have these discussions in the world about what we need to do as a people. And we all hear the same answers. They say the same answers every time. We need to come together. Wow. We need to build our economy. We need to what else they say? We need to come together. We need to boycott. We need to put all our money together. We need to create an economy.
Forgive and forget.
Forgive and forget. But they all want to. They don't never say separate from your oppressors in these other nations. Right. They don't never say anything that's going to have affect any real change. They never do. But we avoid those conversations. Well, I do definitely, because I don't have those conversations anymore because they're pointless. Because we're talking to people who have no idea what black people need, man. That's you want to know what black people need? Come in the Isupk, get in all black, man, and lace up your boots and get ready to go to war, man.
Damn right.
Read.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 10, and verse 25. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up.
Right. This is the one about the lawyer I was talking about earlier. Come. This is a lawyer who stood up. Somebody who's supposed to be smart and educated. Read.
And tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?
Right. And so in Israel, of course, we have the law. So he's a lawyer, so I assume he's versed in the law. But read.
Verse 26.
He's asking Christ, what should he do to inherit eternal life? That's what he said?
God.
Okay, read.
Verse 26. He said unto him, what is written in the law? How readest thou?
And Christ came back at him and said, what is written in the law? Since you're an expert in, what does it say? Read.
Verse 27. And he answering said, thou shalt love the Most High thy power with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength.
And where have we heard that before? In the law. Read.
And with all thy mind,
Right.
and thy neighbor as thyself.
And what?
And thy neighbor as thyself.
And love thy neighbor as thyself. And if you're in the Christian church, you are an idiot because you think neighbor means everybody on the planet.
Right.
But everybody on the planet don't live in the ghetto beside you, man.
Right.
Everybody on the planet ain't on the reservation with you, man.
Right.
Everybody on the planet ain't in hell with you.
Right.
Your neighbors are the ones that are of your nation, man. Your brothers, man.
Right.
Your brothers and sisters are your neighbors. Read on.
Verse 28, and he said unto him, thou hast answered right.
And Christ told him he was right. Because, of course, he was quoting the law. And the law is good and right. Read.
This do, and thou shalt live.
And he told him to do it. Love the Most High with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your mind, and all your strength. Whatever it says, Salaki. I don't want to misquote it. And your neighbor as yourself. Do that. But
verse 29, but he, willing to justify himself.
But he tried to buck up against Christ and tried to get Christ. Read on.
Said unto Jesus, Yahweh Shah,
Right.
and who is my neighbor?
And who is his neighbor? He tried to justify himself. I don't want to necessarily say he bucked up against Christ, but he tried to justify himself. He tried to make himself right, I guess. Read on. And he said, who is my neighbor? Come on with it.
It's like, if I may say this, right? It's like that, our people are very quick to serve ourselves,
Right.
to serving the Most High, or
Right.
serving anything else besides ourselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like I said, it says, but he willing to justify himself.
Right. Justify himself.
Right. He said, who is my neighbor?
He said, who is his neighbor? And Christ said what?
Verse 30, and Jesus answering said, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment.
Right. Same thing that happens in the hood today, man. You run into the wrong neighborhood and you run into the wrong group of brothers and you get robbed and they take everything you got and they take your clothes too.
Mm-hmm.
Read on.
And wounded him.
And they might pistol whip you. They might stab you up. They might shoot you. They might beat you down. But wounds are all the same. Read on.
And departed.
And then they leave you. Read on.
Leaving him half dead.
Right. They ain't gonna call the ambulance for you. They just gonna leave you. And however you end up is how you end up. Read.
Verse 31. And by chance, there came down a certain priest.
Now this is a priest. The priest did what?
And by chance, there came down a certain priest that way. And when he saw him, he passed by on the other side.
When he did what?
He passed by on the other side.
Before that, when he did what?
And by chance,
Before that, the line before that, when he did what?
and Yahweh Shah and Jesus.
The one right before the priest. And the priest did what? Start with the priest again.
And by chance, there came down a certain priest that way. And when he saw him,
And when he what?
and when he saw him,
And when he saw him. So the priest saw him. This is a priest. And he saw the man in the situation that he was in. Wounded, stripped, and left for dead. He saw him. And he did what?
he passed by on the other side.
On the other side. He didn't even go that way. He walked on the other side of the street. Go ahead. Read on.
Verse 33. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed,
You skip.
Salah. Verse 32.
Right.
And likewise a Levite,
And a Levite. Come on.
when he was at the place, came and looked on him and passed by on the other side.
And here we go again. He looked on him. He saw him. No excuse to say you can't see him. You know how we quick to do that in Israel. We quick to see and don't see. Pretend we didn't see something. But they looked on him, so they don't have that excuse. And they chose to pass by on the other side. Read on.
Verse 33. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed.
But a certain Samaritan. And again, stupid Christians see this and they get to saying, see, this is not an Israelite, but you stupid Christian, this is Israelite. This is a northern kingdom Israelite who is just being named for the place that he's from. That's it. But because you have a priest and a Levite, and now you have another Israelite who is not, who has been separated from his people by being in the northern kingdom. Because the northern kingdom was dispersed, and now they were looked at by the southern kingdom as not being a part of the nation anymore. But read what Christ said about the Samaritan.
Verse 33. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him.
He saw him and he had compassion. That's what it's going to take from our people when we look on one another, man. When we see each other, we need to see each other first, recognize the situation that we're in, and then have compassion on each other, man. And this brother who wasn't even treated like a brother because he was separated from his nation as a northern kingdom. He didn't care about that, man.
Right.
He just chose to be a good brother to his brother. Read.
Verse 34. And went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring
up his wounds, man. Took care of his injuries. Read.
Pouring in oil and wine.
Right.
And set him on his own beast.
And put him on his animal so he could put him in his car, man. Put him in his car.
Right.
And let's go.
And brought him to an inn.
And brought him to an inn.
And took care of him.
And took care of him. Read.
Verse 35. And on the morrow, when he departed, he took out 2 pence and gave them to the host.
Right, because the brother was still injured and probably wasn't ready to leave yet, able to leave yet. So he gave the innkeeper some money to pay for the brother's stay, man. Read.
And said unto him, take care of him, and whatsoever thou spendest more, when I come again, I will repay thee.
Right. So whatever the tab is, he got him when he come back, man. Today he probably would have took him to the emergency room and offered to pay the man hospital bill. But read on.
Verse 36. Which now of these 3 thinkest thou was neighbor unto him.
Now, which one of these 3 was a brother, man? Which one of these 3 showed brotherhood, man? That's what Christ is asking this lawyer. Because the lawyer wanted to justify himself by saying, who is my neighbor?
Right.
So now, which one of these 3 was his neighbor? And neighbor is not everybody in the world, man. Your neighbor is somebody from your own nation. So the Samaritan is an Israelite, without question. And he had brotherhood. He showed the kind of brotherhood that we gotta have for each other.
Yeah, but
read on.
Which now of these 3 thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves. Verse 37. And he said, he that showed mercy on him. Then said Jesus unto him, go and do thou likewise.
And the lawyer answered and said, he answered correctly and said that it was the Samaritan because he was the one that showed mercy unto him, man. He had mercy on his brother and he had compassion for his brother. And Christ said, what?
And he said, he that showed mercy on him. Then said Jesus unto him, go and do thou likewise.
And do what?
And do thou likewise.
Go and do thou likewise, man. Christ commanded him to go and have brotherhood, man.
That's right.
And with that, we're going to call it into the class. Clap it up. We passed the class with preaching officer, 500, Officer Carter Ward.
It's Isupk Security Announcement. We are the Isupk under Commander General Yahan, started at the 1 West, 125th Street, all New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the word. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tues, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means 10th in the heat. Maya Sharab, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation.
The upcoming holy convocation. The next one is it the
Feast of First Fruit,
Fruits?
June 20th.
June 20th. So stay tuned for more information on that, unless we already have the information on that. Do we? The feast day gonna be in Durham. We don't know that yet. So stay tuned on information on where it's gonna be for June 20th. Get prepared to come together and be with your brothers and sisters again. July.
If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, I'm Madi, which means everybody stand in a heap. Wapanya Akadam, which means everybody face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in the heap. Abanah, Bashamai, Badah, Ayah, Shamkar, Yahal, Malakuka, Dabah, Radzaka, Ayah, Aisha, Ba'abatuza, Kuwa, Ayah, Bashimai, Nathanaw, Nakom, Khan, Yubon, Wasalataw, Kawak now, Kasalak now, Kawak now, Wala, Ayala, Pansayawon, Abo, Shana, Mayon, Ra, Kayon, Lakom, Amalak, Wa'al, Wakpara, La Long, Amon.
In English, our Father,
Our Father,
Father in
which art in heaven,
hallowed be
hallowed be
thy
thy
name.
name.
Thy kingdom
Thy
come.
kingdom come,
Thy will be
thy will be done
on earth
in earth
as it is in
as
heaven.
it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day
our daily
our
bread.
daily bread.
Give us our debt.
Forgive us our debt.
As we forgive our
As we
debtors.
forgive our debts.
Lead us not
And lead us not
into
into temptation,
Deliver
but
us.
deliver us from me.
Thine
For
is the
thine is the
kingdom,
kingdom,
power,
and the power,
and glory,
and the glory. Well, so be it. Psalms we turn, men of Israel, to give one courteous salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, man Shabbat, Amani, Rock, Yah Bashim Yah Shabbat, Yah Yunatah, class dismissed.
Most High in Christ.